Good evening. Welcome back to the headache hood. This is I'm hitting the wrong button. 12th May 2023, 6:59 p.m. and two things I want to document in today's session. I'm going to do that quickly. One thing is, you see this video that I was working on. I have to still work on it. You see this kind of notification thing happening. You do this through a technique called recursive parenting null. I'm just coming up with it at this point. Recursive null parenting, something like that. Let me explain what that means. So because I have to anyway redo this thing, I'm just gonna delete things from here and re-explain to you. All these I'm gonna delete. Now I have this other thing here where I had to fix the alignment, everything, and I'm gonna import that into my After Effects. I'm actually doing a full-time job edit live here on inthekhud. That's the first, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it's all about documentation. That's what we live for. Documentation. Okay, I'm gonna take these four, come in here and put it in my composition and bring it underneath. This is where they have to finally come in, but that's not how my animation is gonna start. My animation is gonna start with all of them at the same point and then they go down. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here and align them horizontally and vertically and take them to the first position here. And what is these extra things here? I'm gonna keep my screen as, you see that there is that scaling thing happening, very simple stuff. And I'll take my anchor point. What is this extra tab here? Yeah, I really want After Effects to retain the panels, man. Don't give me so much flexibility. It's of no use actually. I'm gonna go ahead and reset my workspace. Yeah, that's what that feature is for. Okay, let's say it starts from here and I just want to do a basic scale from the bottom. I'm gonna take my anchor point at the bottom and I have this script here in the code where for 10 frames I can just pop it in and that will do it. And I'll do this for all the others. So anchor point at the center and pop it in 10 frames, third one, fourth one, and now in if I was to check this, in 10 frames all of this is happening. I'm gonna space them apart such that after a second each one is happening. So we come in here, come in here, and come in here. So the pop is like this. Why are they misaligned? Did we not get the anchor? Oh, how did we miss the anchor point? Yeah. Okay, now here's the thing. What I'm gonna do is for each one of these I'm gonna create a null, a void. I'm using a void script. This is actually free from BattleAxe. You can download it, but I'll tell you what it is basically doing. When I hit this button, it's creating a null layer which is the size of this layer and it's just parenting it to this. That is all that it's doing. You can do it manually very easily, but I have this script, so I'm gonna use it. I need one void for each one of these because this is what is gonna go down. And here's the more interesting part. When this comes up, okay, the first one is gonna just slide down. So I'm gonna take its position, give a position keyframe on Y, and after 20 frames I'm gonna just drag it down so that it's more or less where it should be. Now the important thing here is that this void one, which is controlling the first layer, that will be parented to the second void. Okay, so when I come in here and do the same thing where I parent this to position, and after 20 frames I drag this down, this will not just drag the second but the first one along with it. Okay, so you get this sort of feeling. And then when you come in here, this void 2 will be parented to void 3. So void 3, after 20 frames this will come down, so the whole unit moves it as 1. And I think obviously I need to have a, let's say 70 interpolation. And yeah, these are going a little slow, so let me bring them down in 10 frames. Yeah. So that is how you do this. Yeah, of course I've just manually done it, so the spacing is not even. Especially for the last one. I think I could just reduce it a little bit. Yeah, but that's how you do this notification thing. The other thing that I wanted to show is document a little bit of progress, but significant progress that I did for my Packshot replacing script. Okay, is extend script open? Yeah, it is. Okay, Packshot replacer. So what does this script do so far? If I have selected just one layer, which is this Packshot layer, and I run the script, it makes a pre-comp of it, right? Just like how we discussed yesterday. I'm just gonna undo that. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these selected, these are basically the table only. Okay, at the bottom. The point I'm trying to say is the layers you've selected. Imagine that there are these Packshots that I've selected. Or let me just make it a little easier. I have these Packshots here. Let me just drop them here and roughly arrange them. The arrangement is something I have to figure out. Let's say these are the 4 Packshots. I'm going to select these 4 layers and I'm going to run the script. No buttons or UIs yet, that will come later, just the functionality, something I'm focusing on. I run the script, it makes a pre-comp. Now interestingly, if you go inside the pre-comp and you like zoom in, I think there is one button which allows you to zoom in. I don't know. But what is most important here is you see that these layers have been arranged in the timeline and they are spaced exactly 1 frame apart, and they are also 1 frame long. And this is important for me because if I come in here and do time remap on it and then you just move around with the slider, I'll be able to change the backshot. That is great progress if you think about it from that perspective. The way I'm doing that is for I0, I is less than my layers.length. My layers is the number of selected layers, com.selected layers. Dot length is something I was missing on initially. My array.push. My array is an empty array that I discussed yesterday, which comes here for the pre-comp parameter, first one. And it's an empty array with which we are pushing all the indexes. So index of the layer is 1, 2, 3 that way. Okay. If I was to, I don't know, try to tell you, like, let's just take a dry run. 1, 2 of these. Okay. So I0, I is less than 2, I plus plus, we go into the array, we push I0. So com.selected layers 0, the first selected layer, this index. So I'm going to push 1 into the array. So right now my array has 1. For if I is greater than 0, this will not be the case for the first time. Okay, so we'll come out of the loop. Now I is 1, I is less than 2, yes, so we go in and we push the index, which is 2. So currently my array has 1, 2. Now I is greater than 0, I is 1, yes. So my layers.in point is frame to time. This is a function which converts frames to time. My layers index, if I can just word wrap this, my layers I index. So the current layers index minus 1 will be the in point. So if I just run this for the second one, that's what we're doing here. For the second one, the in point is index minus 1. So index is 2, so in point is 1, and we're doing it through frames to time. So 1 is not 1 second, but it's 1 frame, and out point is the index. So index here is 2, so the out point is 2 frame. That is how we're doing it. Great progress. One more thing I did is I watched a video by NP Productions, and I think it must be open somewhere. I can just give credit because that boy has taught me so much. Like, it's not even there in the documentation for you to find these things.
But you can see we have our 3.
So basically what I wanted to do is for the pack shots, I wanted to have a situation where I can just, in my main script with the buttons and everything, come in here and just import whatever pack shots I want, right? So let's say, I'm just going to cancel this. Why is there a selected needed? Yeah, it gives me the functionality to locate to the pack shot, like, and hit OK. That will import everything that is inside the folder. My only problem here is you see how disgusting this UI is that After Effects is providing. Like this Packshots thing, I put it on my desktop purposely because I want to test it. But all my projects are in so many subfolders, I'm gonna go mad trying to find it. So this I'm gonna not do. Right, I'm gonna find another alternative for this. Anyway, that was the 2 things that I wanted to document. I'm hit 11 minutes already. So if I go to the Notion page, one thing that I have worth documenting, why is the God, Notion is not starting only. Anyway, I'll just document what I had to. It's the fact that I woke up today at 5:10 a.m. and this is the first time I've exceeded the 420 threshold in like I think 2 months or so. And I woke up with obviously like a panic situation because it's the latest that I have. And to remedy the fault, what I did is I switched up things. Instead of the first 1 hour being stretching and then bath and then coming to the part, I just straight away went to take a bath in 15 minutes, and by 5:30 I came to sit for the part, and by 6:30 I was done with my part, which is important because by 6:30 already the sun is out and you have to finish by 6 o'clock, but 6:30 is acceptable in some situations. So that I did, and then after everything was done I took Snowy down, came back home, and then I did my stretching session. And then obviously I was so tired, so I did not do anything in the morning session, which has been a consistent theme throughout because the days have been so heavy with edits for the full-time job and stuff. And other than that, the whole day also went into edits only. So I was actually thinking about the fact that it's good that I took 3 leaves next week, because I have started to hit a point now where it's also because the way my schedule is, like waking up at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock after sleeping at like 10:30, 11, which is again gonna happen today. Like every single day I'm consistently failing at getting to the gym at 7:30 and being home at 9 and sleeping by 10. I just cannot do it because something or the other just keeps happening, and things keep getting pushed forward, and I cannot not go to the gym either because then I will feel very depressed. At least that's what I think I will. I can just not go and just relax and maybe sleep early, but we're not doing that. We're going to the gym. All of this is really adding to how much of a headache I'm having at this point in time. But thankfully tomorrow day after is a weekend, so we'll probably get somewhat sort of a breather, and then 2 more days, and then it's going to be a little bit of a nice breather to really think about things and like evaluate things in a much better way, with a clearer mind. Anyway, thanks so much for being in the Khud. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.